Hey everybody, Dave Stout here, Dave Stout Outdoors. We got a special edition of On the Hook today. Got with me Gil Senn, one of our good anglers in the Five Alive Trail. Fishes elites and the regular series. We're going to had a tournament this past Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
We had 97 boats. Good tournament, best turnout we've ever had. We had 22.37 won it. They had a 799 big fish. So that wasn't big fish of the day.
No.
Second place, that was Braxton and Brandon Martin. Second place was Tim Watson and Corey Veal. They had 21.27, about a pound out. But they had an 8.96 big fish. That was a monster.
We tied up, and I come walking up through there, and Tim grabbed me. He's like, "Hey, can you take a picture?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He pulls that sucker out, and I look at him, and I'm like, "You was on Hartwell?" He was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, okay." That came out of nowhere.
That was crazy. That was crazy. We had several fish over 6 pound weight in. Several, a lot. And there's a high school tournament the day before, had over 100 boats in it. And all these people say the pressure on Hartwell, it's no good no more. That's not so.
Still pumps them out.
Yeah, we had over 1,000 pound weight in all day.
Yeah.
400 fish. It was producing after a big day on Saturday. And hey, this year we had to make a rule change, and it's on the A-rig. Bassmaster, everybody got mad at me about it. I don't care if you use one or not. I mean, I care less. Bassmaster don't want us to though. We're sanctioned Bassmaster Trail. You go through the Classic. Colin Smith's going to the Classic in March through our trail. They at the team championship back in December, there was a lot of confusion, and not from our trail. We let everybody know you could use it in our trail
And the qualifiers.
Yeah, but if you made it on up, you can't. Well, these other trails all over the world didn't tell them that. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah. A lot of people got mad when they got down here and practiced with it and then found out tournament day you can't use them. So, since we're sanctioned trail, we're going straight Bassmaster rule. Then there's no confusion.
Yep.
I mean, it's just it. But as far as, and I don't know Bassmaster reason behind us, some of the trails, some of the big series, they say you foul hook too many fish with them. That was the first thing. I don't know. I could see where you might foul hook one occasionally, but if that's the case, what about jerkbait?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that all jerkbait, but
I've hooked a lot more on outside.
Yeah, you're going to on
jerkbait than having a rig.
But anyway, our trail you cannot use a rig this year, and it's not my fault.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
That's what when you handed us the rules, I looked at it, I was like, okay, well, that's a new one.
That's right. Now, Gil, you're selling boats now, right? You've worked at Palmetto Boat Center up here for how long? A while.
Right at 2 years now.
2 years.
Yeah.
And you were in parts?
I was in parts for a little bit over a year, and then the sales job.
Now you're selling. And y'all got Phoenix, you've got Nitro, and Basscat.
And Icon.
And Icon. Oh,
so
okay. You got the Icon.
Yeah.
Good deal. So y'all looking for a new boat? We got Jesse down at N&C sells the Skeeter and the Falcon, and Gil sells just about everything else that you want to buy.
We got a Jag sitting right out there right now that I just went and test drove. So
good deal. So y'all go see Gil at Palmetto. I'm sure he'll make you a real good deal. I know you sold one to one of our anglers. We was over here registering one day. He came in, he said, "I just bought a new Phoenix just now." And Hunter said, "You get it from Gil?" He said, Yep. That's when I found out you were selling boats.
Yep, that's me.
But y'all check him out at Palmetto Boat Center. Y'all don't y'all have like the off-road four-wheelers?
We've got the off-road, we've got Sun Tracker, we've got Manitou, we've got Tracker aluminums, about you name it.
Big line.
Key West, center consoles.
Big dealer, bunch of boats.
Send them everywhere, send them to Hawaii, Washington State. This bass cat's going to Florida. So
Wow.
wherever you're at, it kind of doesn't matter. We'll get them to
Good
you
deal.
some one way or another.
Good deal. Now, since we're talking about Gil, we're going to clear his name here on the air. I've been getting phone calls, and I imagine you have too.
Yep.
I know you have. They told me they done called you, some of them. Y'all look, when you fish in these tournaments, Gil made a mistake Sunday, but it was an honest mistake. It's one that a lot of people make, and that's checking in. We used to do check-in. We used to have the poker chips. You remember poker chips?
Yep.
And at one time, you had to bring them up to the trailer before you. And that's how you checked in. Well, by the time you pull up to the dock, you find your chip, you get out of the boat, and you walk, especially at Green Pond, all the way up to the trailer there. You know, that's a couple, 2 or 3 minutes. Well, 2 or 3 minutes fishing is a lot of time.
Correct.
You know, you need to be out there catching fish. So we changed it. And I think Marty still does that with the key fobs, right?
He still does it with the key fobs.
We changed it to where you get a paper plate, got your boat number on it. On the bottom, it's got the time you're due in on it. And all you do, you ride by the dock, you hold it up, make sure the guy sees it, and checks you off the list. You're checked in. Then you've got 30 minutes to get to the scales. You can take your boat out of the water, or you can tie it. You do whatever you want to. Well, Gil, I guess.
Give you the full rundown.
Yeah, how did this happen, Gil?
So Sunday morning, I go up there and pay and get the plate, and you know, with the new rule sheet, it was on top of the plate. Well, she said your boat's 70. I think it was 3 or 4.
3.
And I was like, okay, you know, I didn't look at the plate. The paper was on top of it. I walked down there, put it in the boat, just didn't think anything of it. And we go blasting off, and we hear 345, and we're like, sweet, 345, let's go. So we take off, we fish, and we're coming back, and just something just didn't feel right. Like, it was just a weird feeling, like, and the whole time, my partner, Chandler, he was like, do you really think we got them that good to win? I'm like, no, not with all these guys. I said, it's just a weird feeling, like, maybe we don't cut a check with 17 pounds. That's the weird feeling.
17 pounds.
So we get back, we go over there to check in, you know, and the guy asked us, hey, are y'all weighing in? Yeah, we're going to weigh in. Okay. We turn around, go back over to the T-dock, and we're going back over there, and Chandler just happened to open up the compartment where the plate was, and it was in the compartment next to the cooler, which we didn't open all day, and he opens it, and he just turns. I'll never forget it. He turned with his blank face on my face, and on his face, and he was just like, dude, we were doing it 3:30. And I'm like, what? He was like, look, and shows me the plate, and I was like, no, something's wrong. And I start looking at my graphs. I'm like, my graphs might be wrong. We might be okay. And the whole time I've got a watch on my wrist. And I just kind of like give it one of these numbers and look, and I was like, what do we do? So the whole
now,
time,
these graphs are GPS time.
and we're going back to the dock, and I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, man, there was a mistake somewhere. You know, something's not right. So we were sitting there, and I was like, man, do we throw our fish back? Do we go weigh in? Do we go tell them, what do we do? And it was a situation I've never been in. And so I told him, I was like, let's bag them up, let's go weigh in. And I said, then when everything's said and done, we'll walk around and tell them if the people checking in hadn't told. And he was like, okay, that's what we'll do. And another one of our buddies was down there, and we go walking up there, weigh in or whatever. And as soon as we get done weighing in, Miss Melanie goes, can Gil and Chandler come to the trailer? And it was just like life just sucked out of me. I was like, okay, it wasn't a mistake. That just happened. And Chandler goes over there, and she said, are y'all 15 minutes late? And Chandler goes, yeah. I said, okay. Chandler comes over there, and at this time I was more mad at myself than anybody. And then we go down there, throw them back or whatever, and I was furious at myself. And that was our conversation on Monday. I just walked back up there, got the truck, went down there, he put the boat on the trailer, and I left. I went home. And it was probably, 7 o'clock when he posted the results. I had got back home, done everything I needed to do. I'm sitting there laying in the bed. I mean, at this point, I am mad. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, it's always the February tournament that gets me in these, and I beat it this time, and now I didn't. So I get home or whatever, and I cut my phone off because I knew what was about to happen. So I cut my phone off, and the whole time, me and Hunter been talking back and forth after. And I was on, Hunter calls me, and he was like, well, you didn't get DQ'd, so I guess that's good. And I was like, he posted them, he was like, yeah. He said, okay. Hunter was on the phone, he's a witness. I got a string of about 20 text messages, just boom, 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 boom. How do you get a 15-pound penalty? What'd you do? Yada, yada, and going back and forth. And the whole time, it was just one of those mistakes.
It was an honest mistake. Everybody thinks 15-pound penalty. One more minute and you would have been disqualified.
Yeah.
So luckily you came in when you did. And the rule is you're doing it, well, he's doing it 3:30.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pound a minute penalty for every minute you're late. And up to 15, over 15, you're disqualified. Of course, most people don't have a 17-pound bag to work out against. So, I mean, you still got some points.
Yeah, that's what my favorite text I got was, you sure you were on Hartwell in this tournament today? And I said, what are you talking about? They said, you had 17 pounds and you finished 86th. They were like, that sounds like some Murray or Sam Rayburn weights. I was like, yeah. I was like, that happened. I was like, but hey, you live and you learn.
That's right. A lot of people probably don't even know that. And I know you knew. You
Yeah.
fished a lot of tournaments. A lot of people probably don't know that rule exists. It's in pretty much any tournament you fish. So if y'all just getting started fishing tournaments, be sure you're there on time. The biggest problem we've had in our tournament, people get mad at me, is when they weigh in late.
Mm-hmm.
We had one, he was a friend of mine. He came in after we closed the scales one day,
I think I remember that. I might have been there.
bringing a big old bag of, well, it ended up as a lot of water,
Yeah.
Thank the Lord. But he's having a hard time carrying it up, and I'm like, oh no, here comes a big bag of fish. And we couldn't weigh him. We'd already put the scales up. And they got mad, and of course he didn't, because he knew they wouldn't even got checked if they'd weighed them. But his partner sent me a text telling me we need to fire the person running the tournament. And luckily that didn't happen. I'm still there.
Yeah.
But he hadn't talked to me since.
Yeah. And that's what I want to tell y'all. Me and Chandler talked about this. The way y'all handled it was the most professional way you possibly could. Because a bunch of people would have, when we came up there to weigh in, would have just been like, oh, nope, you can't weigh in. And then you're standing in front of however many people, and
I'm not going
you
to
just
do
got
that.
shot down. And that's what me and Chandler were talking about. I was like, it could have went a lot of different ways. I was like, but they handled it perfect. And I was like, it was a mistake on us. I was like, either way they'd have done it, we'd have had to own up to it. But
ends up what happened. Y'all were about 73 or 4,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
The next flight started at 76. So by the time y'all got up to where Sean was taking pictures, we called 76. And at first of each flight, I'll tell them, flight 70, flight 4, whatever it is, you're doing at 345. Be 76 through 100.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you was up there and you heard it. And and
everybody knows me. I got music blaring in the morning. Like
it was early.
We're focused. We got music blaring. We're running, and that's what I joke with a lot of people. And I'm like, well, if I'm not gonna win a tournament, I'm gonna win blast off. I'm gonna race somebody.
Yeah. I told Mounty that's the most boats we've ever had, and I think that day went the smoothest any of them ever have.
100%.
And we had 2 problems. We had the the guy locked his keys in his truck in line, got out to unhook his boat, and the door shut. I felt so sorry for him that morning, and then y'all. And other than that, I mean, unless you heard something I didn't,
no,
everything went really smooth.
Everybody was gone.
But y'all make it so easy. We got the best anglers. If we have a problem, we work through it.
Yeah, I mean, it's no big deal.
But and I, all night Sunday night, it kind of, I'm like, I'm hoping I'm hoping we're right here. So I called Gil Monday. I said, hey,
Yep.
tell me what happened here.
And that's what
I'll always do that.
I had just got off the phone with Hunter, and I was like, I'm about to call David. And I looked down and had seen the voicemail, and I was like, well, he just tried to call me. Hunter, let me call him. And I hung up, and that was when we talked. And it was just, man, it was one of those things. Like last night in the night tournament, the whole time, everybody was screaming, you got to be back at 11:30. 11:30. I had 3 people call me last night during that tournament. You know we got to be back at 11:30, right? And I'm like, yes, I'm fully aware we have to
You'll
be back
never
at
live that
11:30.
down.
No.
Never.
I mean,
Never.
we've got some funny stuff coming for it.
But luckily, a lot of our hammers in that tournament didn't have a good day.
Mm-hmm.
So, you got some points.
I think it stopped.
Somebody calling right now. You got some points. You're still in it. I don't know if y'all can see. I'm getting a phone call.
Hang on, I think it completely paused. I think. There it goes.
All right, now we're back. But y'all got some points.
Mm-hmm.
You're not out by no means.
These suckers around here.
Um,
These are some of the, like I tell a lot of people, if you can compete within 2 hours of Lake Hartwell consistently, you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because.
Our last year, Colin,
Mm-hmm.
when he qualified for the championship, they had a bad
Mm-hmm.
a bad start.
Yep.
But he won 2 in a row, and that bumped him
Mm-hmm.
right up. But so all you got to do is go win next.
Well, that's what we were joking about. I was like, when we were standing in the parking lot after the whole deal, I looked at Chandler and I was like, well, points are out of the window. I was like, we might as well just try to win the rest of them. I was like, the likelihood of that happening with all these dudes, I doubt it. I said, you can't know unless you try.
All you got to
so
do is
we're
win
gonna go
'em.
swinging.
Well, enough about that because that was a bad,
Yeah,
bad
it was
situation. I hated it so bad.
It was weird because the whole day I'm sitting there I finally beat the February tournament. And Chandler's like, what do you mean? 'Cause this is the first year he's fished with me. And I was like, man, it's always the February tournament. Either I cannot catch more than 10 pounds in the February tournament. I mean, if you go back and look over the years, I've never had more than 10 pounds in the February tournament. And we started catching them and culling up. And I was like, Chandler, we beat the February tournament. We got 11. And then we kept on culling. And by the end of the day, he looked at me and he was like, what do we got? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I haven't looked at the bottom of the scale. And I click on it and I look at it and it said 16 something. And I'm like, we might better go back towards the boat ramp. And we were within half a mile of Green Pond since about 3 o'clock. So, I mean, it's not like we were making this long run. We ran back up and stayed there the whole time.
Wow. So what, 17-pound bag's a good bag. Did y'all catch them early or late?
So we started off early. The one big one we had came first thing. It was right at 5 pounds. It came within the first, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I think I tried to run and hit 2 or maybe 3 places and people were on all of them. And I just pulled over to a place that nobody was on.
Yeah.
And we throw up there and boom, boom, we both catch one and we're like, okay, we got something going here. And then just throughout the day, it was just culling up by ounces. We probably only caught 9 or 10 fish, but they were all good fish.
Yeah, yeah. I assume since you got a Spro crankbait in front of you, it's must be the bait of choice these days.
Yeah, we caught them this weekend on that new Speed Demon and then on the football jig.
The Speed Demon. That's on that color. That's a good color right now.
Just like your old school crawl color.
Yeah.
Spro bait, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
It's a new one that just came out.
Yeah.
If everybody, a bunch of people know me just cause college fishing, and my partner that fished with me now fished with me in college. And if anybody gets to find that video, it's funny because we were weighing in the last day at Norman, and it was that whole week, man. It was like 30 degrees, pouring down rain, the wind was blowing, it was miserable, and we were wanting to get off the stage the last day, and they were like, "How'd you catch them?" And Chandler just screams, "Speed trap!" And we go off the stage, and everybody kind of jokes about it now. That they call us speed trap boys. Just
Speed trap boy.
that's just the way it was because we
Now
were
it's a
ready to
speed
get out
demon.
of there. Yeah,
Everything
Yeah.
but coming to weigh in.
yeah, everything but coming away pretty much. Yeah,
Well, I guarantee you, March or February 19th is our first elite
Yep.
tournament, just 2 weeks away, and I bet Gil will be there on time.
yeah. I'll be back no matter if I'm boat 1 or 91 at 3:00. We're gonna be back every time now.
Well, Gil, we appreciate you
Yeah.
and everything you do for us and your attitude. I mean, you know, like I say, we got absolute best people fishing this trail, and we've had some problems in the past. We luckily got rid of
Yeah.
most of them,
And it was like I told you. I said it was the biggest reason is just because of the way scheduling worked this year, I wasn't going to get to fish the elites because of the ABAs and all that different stuff. And then now this happens. So I was telling you on Monday, I redid my whole schedule. So now I'll be at the elites.
good deal, man. That's awesome.
And it was like I kind of had a long thinking process Monday on the lake, and I'm sitting there thinking, okay, you know, everything happens for a reason. Like that happened for something. Whether
Yeah,
it's
that's right. Absolutely.
something goes right in the elites or something like that, but there was a reason for that happening.
Yes.
We'll see what it is at
We'll
some
see.
point.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, and we'll let y'all know when we do.
Yeah.
But ABA,
We got a pretty decent.
you're doing
little
pretty
run
good. You gotta
going.
get a little start, don't
Yeah,
you?
we got a couple top threes, and got to go down to the where apparently 20 pounds jumps in the boat at Lake Murray right now.
Yeah,
this weekend.
Murray's on fire right now.
And then we're kind of jumping around, going a little bit everywhere, and getting ready for the national championship out here this
Right
fall.
here on Hartwell. That's right.
Mhm.
That's right. Good deal. Well, Gil, again, I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Appreciate your time and explaining your side of the story out here. And maybe you won't get quite as many phone calls
Yeah.
now because,
Yeah, yeah,
of course, now they'll call you up. Was you telling the truth on there?
yeah. That's what they'll do. Is that really how you caught them?
That's right.
But yeah, come see me. We got right now we got a pretty solid used boat inventory. We stay in front of the new boat inventory pretty hard. If I don't have something you like, I can order it.
Good
So
deal. That's awesome.
we got real good relationships with all of our people.
Palmetto Boat Center.
So yeah, can't miss us. Dead in between Greenville and Anderson on 85.
Hey, you can't miss it. That's for sure.
We got a big enough sign, I think.
Big place, yeah. And we're going to do On the Hook with the winners, Brandon and Braxton Martin, trying to get that lined up, and still trying to get Tyler Campbell finished second in the team championship.
Mhm.
Him and Joe, I think finished